It's Karen from Stitches and Jacks, and welcome everyone. It's Sunday the 27th of August, and I woke today and started to think about the autumn. It's my favourite season. There's a nip in the air today. I've even got my cardi on. The Arga is still on, still off. I don't know about you, but we have been plagued by thunderstorms Friday and Saturday night and the most heaviest of rain. My husband is working, or has been working, out the back, and he left the wheelbarrow out that was empty, and when we got up yesterday morning, he came in and told me that it was half full of water, which just showed how much rain we have had. Yes, try to keep on track, Karen. So anybody that is new here, and thank you very much for coming over and joining the party, all you lovely new subscribers and my lovely subscribers that are already at the party on the couch. Welcome everyone. So my thoughts have started to turn towards autumn. As I say, there's a nip in the air. The blackberries are ripe on the bushes, ready for picking. I'm starting to think of blackberry and apple crumble and all those lovely dishes that we have in the autumn, and I was sort of thinking, what would I like to make in the autumn, sort of starting to look at some projects, plan some projects, and then I was like, whoa, stop right there. I think it's about time you pulled some whips out and just see. Now there's no judgment here. You can have as many whips as you would like, and I've certainly had some whips in the past. I think it was 2021, and it seems to be a summer thing. I seem to go off at a tangent and that certainly happened again this year. I've kind of gone down like a crochet rabbit hole, and I've been brave enough to share like my quilting, so I've put some videos up. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind response, your kind words. And if anybody follows me on Instagram, I put up some news 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much for your kind words and thoughts. I'm not going to say any more now. I'll leave it to the end of the podcast. So I had a piece of paper that told me what I was going to say. Right, let's just see. I'll just count my whips up because they're in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 whips, I think. And some of you know that I've got some blankets on the go, and I was going to get those out and then sort of do a big thing about putting them away, and I'm not going to do that. I feel that blankets are an ongoing project, like an ebb or flow. You get it out and you're starting and you keep going, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, then you're going to put it away perhaps for a bit, and that's fine. I have started a new blanket since I've seen you, but it's only going to be a tiny one, I've decided. Right, so my oldest whip, let me just start. My oldest whip is from 2022, and it's the only project that I have outstanding from 2022. I don't know about you, but when September starts and we're going away in the next week or so, and I know as soon as I come back, my feet are not going to touch the ground. Like schools go back, I'm still tied to the academic year. We have our grandchildren, the ones that don't go to school on a Thursday, and the two that do go to school, 1 week it's a Monday, and then we alternate. So every other Thursday in our house, there should be 5 kids here. So through the summer, it's been like, we've been knackered on a Friday, but it's been all good, and I count my blessings that our 10-year-old still wants to come and hang out with us. I run Girls Brigade, so I'll be back on a Wednesday. I'm going to be starting a new group as well, like a pre-group. So yes, so I need to get a few things in order. So saying that, 2022, I saw this picture and I just couldn't help myself but cast this on. And this is the slip stitch shawl by Isabell Kraemer, and oh my word, I just fell in love. I fell in love with the colours. I had the yarn in my stash, so I thought, right, I'm going to cast it on. Let me just see. Right, and this is, I think, an American pattern, an American weight yarn. And when I read it, it said heavy fingering to light DK. No, I had no idea what that meant. All I knew is that I had those colours in a DK yarn, and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to do it. So I did. Let me see if I can just grab it. Well, bring it out of the bag carefully. So I think by the looks of it, I've borrowed the needle because I have it on one of these pony needles. And this is how much I have completed. And I think, looking at it, I lost the will to live because this is the longest bit. Probably it's creased as well. I didn't plan this. So, and I have used Sublime. Yeah, so it's a stash project. Yay! So that's the yarn. Yeah. And I bought this in a closing down sale for £1 a ball, so it's no longer available, but you'll be able to find like the equivalent or use the yarn that's suggested in the pattern. So I think I'm 2/3 of the way there. I'm nearly there, I think. Oh, the stitch pattern's really pretty. She's so clever. Look at that. So I've never made anything designed by Isabell Kraemer. So I've got this out and I had a look and I thought, do you want to finish this? And I think I have worked on it a little bit at the beginning of the year. And I do. It still brings me joy and I still want it. So I'm going to stress over this. September I do want to start some autumny projects. October is the Stephen West and I'd really like to do it. So maybe November. And what I tend to do if I have a project and I've kind of fallen out of love with it, or I've got to a bit and it's a bit much. So this is beautiful. It's nothing to do with the pattern or the designer or anything, but for me to get back into it, I think I'll just ease my way into it. So I'm going to pick this up again in November, and I'll either spend a certain amount of time on it a day, perhaps like half an hour, or I'll do 2 rows, and I'll reach a point where I'll have got over that hump. So I'll show you my colours. She says, I think this is my colour choice, so bear with me if I'm sniffing, sneezing, or I sound a bit weird. I've got a cold, and if I'm run down or stressed, I always get a mouthful of ulcers, which they are, coming in like a good one. But they're my colours. Oh my word. So they're really autumnal, aren't they? And that could also be part of the reason I think sometimes you start something and maybe it's not the right time of year to finish it. So it's really lovely. It really is lovely, and I'm hoping to pick this up again. I don't think that's too bad. If I've got one whip for this year. I've got it in one of these. It's a Knit Pro book, and that's what I would like to imagine when I'm knitting. That's what I look like. Right, and then my second whip I started in, I think, February. I think the next 2 whips I'm going to share with you, I started in February, round about Valentine's Day, the beginning, and then I think the end of February, March, I got a chest infection and then got bronchitis, and kind of set me off kilter. Oh, So this is a make by Petite Knits, and I have made one pattern by her before, and I've really fancied making like a slip over. We used to call them tank tops. That's why I would still refer to it as a tank top, and it's got everything that I like in it. Look at the cable work. And I have printed out in black and white. But again, it's Stash Projects, absolutely beautiful. And it's a very different kind of construction for me. But I've done it. And again, I didn't bring any spare yarn down. Any spare yarn down? I might have to come go. Is it Sublime? I think it is. So I've made the back. Wow, look at that. So I made the back, and I've gone over the shoulders, picked those up, and I think I'm literally at the point to do the, I've done the armholes and to do the body. So then I'll be on the home stretch. But I love that, and I'm really proud of it. And again, I think I'm going to have to sit down and work out where I am. Hopefully, I left myself good notes. But I really like it. So that's the first project. And yeah, when I wasn't majorly ill, but you know when you just feel a bit, I just couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think to make anything else. Then my third project is Mr. Stevie West's dottedrays shawl. There is this. I think this is one of his older patterns. I've seen loads of people knit it. So there he is there. And I'm not sure if all his shawls have two sizes, or, you know, it's a lot of them. This definitely does have two sizes. And I'm making this in, let's have a look. This again, stash yarn, yay. So this is Blue Fern yarn. And I'm a great fan of her yarn. And it's Lockdown Valentine. Is that showing? Hope so. And this is the colour. It's all balled up. I think my ball fell apart. Oh, look at that. Put it in front of my face. Oh my word, look at that. Shannon's yarn is just beautiful. Beautiful. And I'm housing it in Davina's little yarn bag, yarn cozy I think they're called. These are beautiful. I never knew that these existed. So I have a few, I think I've about 3 or 4 from Davina, and they just act as little bag, pop your yarn in and stop it all unravelling, which when that unravelled I did. So I pulled this out and I've had a good look at this. And I know that I'm way too critical, but yeah. So let's see. So I want the big shawl. And I think some of my, I don't know whether I'm imagining it or some of my yarn overs. Oh, that was you know who. Is it showing up? My dottedrays. This is the only thing when it's been, can you see it? Yeah. I think there's one row, which is all the way down here, where I've got a couple, got 2 there, and in the next place as well. So I think I've lapsed in concentration. Other than that, It's really nice. I still want it, so I'm going to have to undo it to that point, I think. My eye cord bind off I'm very happy with, and that's there. So you can see that, yeah. All right. I need to stop scrunching it in my bag. So yeah, and it's beautiful, beautiful. So that needs. Right, I'm sorry if I'm not at the right angle. My daughter just called me, needed to talk to me. So what was I saying about this shawl? So I think I'm going to have to undo it to that point and then start again. So I would do that, and I don't know when that's going to be. But yes, because I'd like to do the Stephen West, or attempt to do the Stephen West shawl in October. So yeah, that's going to be nice. So that's what I've done. 2, 3. Oh, so they're sort of my oldest whips. I just found my glasses. I've been looking for them everywhere. Well, Mr. Jack's has just found them. They were in the family room. So it shows how long I've been since I've been in that room. And then I went to, so my 4th whip, I can't count, my 4th whip, I went to Black Sheep Walls the last Saturday in July, and they were celebrating being in business for 40 years. And which is a huge achievement. So I wanted to buy something, and they, obviously to support them, they started out just the mum, and it's gradually expanded. So they had a shawl designed, and it's called the Black Sheep Betwixtmas Shawl 2019 by Carol Meldrum. My throat's really slow, excuse me. So this is the shawl, but because it was 40 years, they chose the yarn. Let me just get all this up. And I don't think I've knitted in cotton, apart from dishcloths. So this is the yarn, and it's a Serdar Cotton DK, and that's the shade number. And I need to put it at the bottom as to what it's called. I've put it on my notes already, and I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through. I haven't done much knitting in the last the last fortnight, so I need to pick this up. Whether I can get this finished before the 31st of August, I don't know. So it starts off like this. And it's beautiful. The stitch definition is just beautiful. So I don't think shawls work in a bag. They need to be laid down, I think. But yes. And on my second ball, it is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know whether when you block cotton, whether it actually expands. So you'll have to let me know. And if you made this shawl, let me know as well. So yeah, it's beautiful, but dead simple, really beautiful. So you're finishing it as you go. So you literally have 2 ends to sew in. Really nice, simple, easy, cosy, comforting knit. So yeah. So thank you all very much for your really kind comments about the last video that I put up of the trip that I took to Black Sheep Walls. Well, on Saturdays, back on a Monday, when Jeanette and Dawn and I were all together, and we just had an absolute ball, which I think you probably could tell. My first time meeting Dawn. So if you haven't seen it, go and have a look. Jet is from Crafty Clegs Creations. Dawn is from Dawn's Days, which is a vlog style. She lives in Amsterdam, and she also has a crafty podcast, and she's a prolific crafter, as is Jeanette. But you'd have to look up the Woven Almanac. I think I said it. So that's that one. And then, oh, I have got one that is missing. Oh, it's here on the back of my chair. And this I got waylaid when I was doing Christmas in July. Stephen West's Sock Along came out. So this is in my beautiful bag that was bought for me from Jeanette and Dawn when Jeanette went over to stay at Dawn's last year. So I finished the first sock. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And it's been quite controversial. I've got a sock blocker. Oh. This is not the way to show a sock. But I think I've done the toe wrong, or it's not as to Stephen's pattern, but that's okay. So I haven't kitchened it yet, because I thought I'll make the second sock and then I'll read the pattern properly and then I can do that. But isn't this beautiful? I think these are going to be a house sock, not a going out sock. And once it's all blocked and everything, then everything will lay, well, I could have shown you in worse state, could I? Everything will, yeah, be better, lay straight. So that's that one. And the yarn I'm using here is absolutely beautiful. And it is Red Squirrel and June. And this is like a local yarn. And this is the name. And then, so these are the two skeins. And the grey is Pewter by Ted Knits UK. And I have started the second sock, and that's why I'm getting entangled. Mr. Jackson's in the kitchen. I'm just losing my flow. If I ever had. So I started with the cuff, the second sock. So then I've got to start on the cables. So I'll be working on that. Right, and that is all a tangled mess. So that is that, and then my second sock, that is my whip, is Granny's in a Row socks. And forgive the state of the pattern because I spilled my tea over. Well, I don't think it was me, it was on the table, and I think the boys were running around and they've knocked my tea over, so it's a bit stained. But look at those. Aren't they beautiful? And this is by Jen Yard. One of my goals for the summer was to perhaps select a project that I wanted to do and just go with it. And one of the things I wanted to do was to just, yeah, have some more crochet projects, which I achieved. Another one was like scrappy socks, or a scrappy project. So this project just hit everything. So this is as far as I have got. Look at these. Oh my word. Look at all the ends there. They're my granny squares. I have gone for very pale colours, which is not like me at all, but they are very beautiful. So this one, oh, let's just see. Has that got the sparkle in it? No, I don't think it has. So this is, these are Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit's yarns, these ones. And then I've got these two here, the bottom two are West Greenloft yarns, ballet slippers. I think this is Margot. But they're just beautiful, just beautiful. And I think, well, I know, these two are the first Strictly Oh, I don't know, actually. Might not be the first. We're a Strictly Sock Along that is held by Ali, that's hosted by Ali. And this was Lay Family Yarns. And the pattern that I made was So Sweet Violets. So this is, West Greenloft Yarns. This is Mr. and Mrs. Rabbits. And that's, the girl from Highlander. A red dress, I think. Oh, the dog's barking. So yeah, so I've got to finish those. So I think I'm at the heel, I think. So I'm really, really pleased with that. So we'll be picking those up. And then my final whip, and it's a whip in progress. I went to Modern Yarn. Just excuse me a minute. Went to Modern Yarn for Granny Square Day, and instead of it being, it was supposed to be on the Tuesday, it was on the Saturday. I think a few shops had actually hosted something on the Saturday before. And when I went into Modern Yarn, they had a beautiful scarf, Granny Square sort of scarf, and I really liked it. I decided I perhaps had too many crochet projects on the go to start something else. But one thing I had got in my mind I wanted to do is to make a blanket for Bonnie. I have a lot of blankets and quilts in this house for the grandchildren, but they may not be. I hope I'm not going to get into trouble here. I would just wanted something that was more in keeping for Bonnie. So I've decided to do Granny Square large. So this is how far I've got. I don't know, I'm a bit tangled. So this is something that I have been picking up in the last couple of weeks. So I really like those colours. So that was, brought me a little bit of mindless comfort, shall we say. And this is Signet yarn. It's just an acrylic, so it doesn't matter how much it gets stuff dropped on it or whatever. It can just go in the washing machine and it'll come out okay. So this is what I bought, and it's absolutely beautiful. Really enjoying working with that. And I think unless the parent is a knitter or has the time to hand knit acrylics to a good steed, it's a good workhorse. So they're my projects at the moment. So I just need to work out where I need to put them, what I need to finish before I can cast anything new on for the 1st of September, which I think is Friday. So if you stayed with me till this point in the podcast, thank you very much. The reason that I might not be quite myself is because 2 weeks tomorrow we lost one of our Jack Russells, and for everybody that sent me an Instagram message or private message or email, thank you very much. I was a bit overwhelmed, really. You're very, very kind and very thoughtful. Bailey, he's one of the pups. He was 9 and 4 months. He had kind of developed a bit of a cough, like a hacking cough. And it'd gone on for a few days. We took him to the vets to get him checked, and they said that he had got a chest infection, and they'd also said that he got a bit of a heart murmur. I didn't go. When my husband came back and told me, I was like, a heart murmur? I said, we went to vets in March. You know, they always have like their boosters, and they also have something that is called kennel cough, but it's not just for going in the kennels, it's to protect them for lots of other things, especially if they get bitten by another animal. And because we live in country, it's something that, and there's a big pond that they go down in, it's something that they need protecting against. So they've been having that for the last few years. And I don't think my husband had seen that vet before, so we were a bit like, oh, okay. So he had antibiotics and steroids, and he did actually seem to improve. And apart from that, there was nothing else wrong with him. He had lost a little bit of weight, and that was back in May, but we just put it down to the fact that he'd gone off his food. My husband bought him a different kind of food. We changed his food, and he went back on that and was eating. And we could see that he had actually put weight on. He's always been like the slimmer one of all of them. He's like the, I don't know, size 0, whatever you call it. But he was happy enough in himself. There wasn't anything that was any different. So my husband was due to take him back on Monday. I actually went out. My husband didn't want me to go with him. He thought that he was just going to get a checkup and then that would be fine. He'd keep responding to the antibiotics. So yes, I went to Black Sheep Walls. I was going to meet Jeanette, and I got a phone call from my husband. And what happened? I was on my way. My husband phoned me to say that he had dropped Bailey off at the vets and they were going to keep him in. They just wanted to do an X-ray, and we kind of thought that I'd asked my husband just to get his weight checked, and the vet said yes, he had lost a bit of weight since the March, but not anything to worry about. So we were like, okay, well that's been sorted. And my husband said they wanted to keep him in to just to be checked. To have an X-ray. So we thought, we were wondering whether he perhaps got something caught in his throat, because they go out there and they eat everything. My husband had been the weekend in between him going to the vets and having to go back a second time, he'd been out on the field with my husband. This might not sound very nice, but chasing after my husband, like eating any mice that were in the long grass, all that kind of thing, which is what he would normally do. And then, my husband got a call, went down. I was still at Black Sheep Walls. I didn't know anything about this. The vet, the X-ray showed that he had got a large tumour that was pressing on his heart and his lungs. And the vet said that it was, by the size of it, that it was quite aggressive. And we had a couple of options. At the moment, at that point in time, he was in no pain. My husband could have brought him home, could have some medication. So they brought Bailey through. He was still coming around from the anaesthetic. He evidently knew my husband was there. My husband said he said I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put him through that. I couldn't bring him home knowing that we would have to say goodbye to him again, and that we would that he would be in pain. That was and I agree completely with the decision that my husband made. We have to make a decision that's based on what's best for the dogs. It was just such a shock that he wasn't suffering. There was no signs whatever. We've gone back over, should we have taken him to the vets quicker? It was literally a week. But the vet said no. He said, from the sounds of this, what's happened is I can see a deterioration from when I saw him to, 5 days to seeing him now. He said it'll be really quick. So, we've always buried our dogs, but my husband, he just couldn't do it this time. Bailey, they're all ours, but Bailey was his special one. He would follow my husband around, sit on his chest at night, and have a cuddle, and inseparable. So he arranged for Bailey's ashes to be returned. And I got quite stressed as to when they were going to come, but they came late last week. So 12 days, I think, after 11 days afterwards. So and I know that we've got 4 of us, had 5 in total, now got 4. Don't make it easier. So I'm really sorry to end on that note, but I think if I'd have started, I'd have been crying my eyes out, and that would have been no good for any of us. I don't mean to upset anybody, those who have a pet. You'll understand, you become really attached. The kids always joke that we loved the Jack Russells more than we did them. There is an element in that, in the sense of they're our little babies, our little children now. Bronte, I got Bronte, and I should have had her a year earlier than when my youngest daughter moved out. Not that she's my favourite. None of them are my favourites. They're all my favourites. But it would have just, helped the empty nest syndrome. So, let me not say it. I'm so sorry to end on that note, but if I don't say it now, then it means I've only got to say it again, and I don't want to. So, yes. But I hope, my lovelies, that you have a good time, a good Sunday, that life is good for you, that you are, making and finding joy in things around you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Okay, bye-bye. Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye.